I absolutely love the idea that people discount you and discount me and think about how that nothing will ever happen and that what you're doing is stupid. I love those ideas because if you actually do the right thing and you keep working at it, almost inevitably everything turns around and then you can tell your hero story, whatever that might be. And I think we all have different things that happen in our life that allow us to create hero stories. And it doesn't matter what walk of life that you're actually in. There's always moments where somebody says something that you're like, I don't know if that rings true to me. And they frame you in different ways. They stereotype you in all sorts of different ways. And you simply have to keep working at what you're doing and you change that story. I've seen it so many times happen to me personally. I've seen it happen in other people's lives. And the thing is always the same. It's a story of people discount you. And then after 10 years or 20 years, they actually can see what you're about. There's this great movie, one of my favorite movies is Marley and Me, and there's some really good moments in there. We watched it over and over again because we have golden retrievers. And there's this moment where Owen Wilson goes in and he just starts out at this job as a newspaper reporter or a columnist, and everybody says that he's not going to amount to anything, right? Or there's the editor that's sitting there that's saying you're not going to amount to anything. And then at the end of it, after 10 years of working at this newspaper, comes back and the editor says, I never thought that you would do anything in your life, but you sure as damn well surprised me. And I think we all need to think about that it's not about the moment. It's not about thinking about where you are at this moment, but it's a moment about where it's thinking about where you're actually going to go and what you can do to actually get there. It's very little to do with, and that's why you end up being underestimated a lot. It's just a simple economic idea that you're investing in yourself, and as you're investing in yourself, you're actually getting better. It's like any other thing that you would invest in, and it grows, it gets better. And now you can kind of give up on yourself and not make any of those investments, and then you're sort of having everybody sort of think that you are the way that you are and you're permanent, or you can make these investments over time. And these little investments, they pay off, but you don't see it. It's never like a clear-cut thing. It's just financial investing is the exact same thing. We think that you should make money very quickly, right? That there should be a clear return on your money, that there is, you simply just have to do this one little thing and then you get all this money back. But that's not what investing is. In fact, I think it is more of a mystery than anything. And we don't have a clear sense of what actually adds value, what does well. I've been studying this for a long time and I don't think anybody has a clear answer. And anytime somebody comes up with something that sort of is a clear answer than what we had before, somebody comes up with some sort of flaw with that perspective and we say, nah, that's not how this actually all works out. And ultimately, the one answer that I do have after studying what makes companies, what makes people successful, is that it's still just a giant mystery. We kind of have a sense of what this means, but we really don't. There's not a clear-cut sort of way to explain what happens. And so there's this big mystery between how you actually invest in something and then what actually turns out in the end. And the reason is that it's this giant social process that is very difficult to understand. It's a giant individual and social process, very difficult to understand. And so what can we do? What can you do? It's just surprise people. Just keep working at things and realizing Each time you make a little investment, there's very little that's going to show from it. Every time you go to the gym, every time that you put in a little bit of effort in your career, in your building, whether you're doing, something like the Reciprocity Project, whatever it is, every time you make that little investment, you're not going to see a return. It doesn't happen like that. What happens is all of a sudden you look up after 10 years and you realize that this is something did happen, but I can't explain that. I can't backwards induct and think about where it all started and what had happened. And that's actually what true value, that's what true things actually do. There's no clear-cut answer in terms of why something turned successful or not, other than the fact that you got up and you tried and you made everybody underestimate you. And then you smile in 10 years from now and you say, look at what I did.